Welcome back, dear students. Myself, Dr. Savita Tidame, will be continuing with our first lecture, that is Introduction to Ecology. Okay, now in the first lecture, we have studied up to the divisions of ecology, that is, concept of ecology, then uh, branches of ecology, okay, and divisions of ecology we have studied up till now. Now let's move ahead and see what is environment, because it is one of the important factor, right? So environment is the sum total of surrounding external conditions influencing the growth and development of animals as well as plants. So there are several definitions of environmental science given by different experts in the field of environment. One more definition is that the environmental science provides an approach towards understanding the environment of our planet and the impact of human life upon the environment. What is that? Approach towards understanding the environment of our planet and the impact of a human life on the environment, put forth by the Turk. This definition is put forth by the Turk. So whatever, as you see, the earth is having different continents, and on these different continents, different environment is exist. So study of or understanding the environment of our planet means understanding the environment of different areas and their impact on human life, as well as on the impact of a human life on the environment, is entirely studied in this environmental biology. Even another definitions of this are also there. Different scientists, they put forth different definitions. Say environmental science is the scientific study of various ecosystems. Those can sustain human existence on the planet Earth and their equilibrium. One more definition is also there: study of interrelationship between living and non-living things. Okay, is called environmental science, which is one of the very easy and the simple definition we can say. What is that? Study of interrelationship between living and non-living things is called environmental science. Okay, now let's move ahead and see what is there. Okay, multidisciplinary nature of environmental studies. Okay, why we study the environmental science, or what is the importance of environmental science, whether it is going to interact with the another branches also or not. So multidisciplinary nature of the environmental studies. So environmental science is very vast and multidisciplinary subject. Now in this, we basically study the interrelation between biotic, that is living, and abiotic, that is non-living components. When we study living organism, ultimately we have to study the subject like biology, botany, zoology, physiology, biochemistry, biophysics, chemistry, mathematics, and many other. Okay, the non-living or abiotic components includes soil, air, water, energy, and the light. So these are closely related to the geography, geology. Means what? Abiotic factors. These are, say, biotic factors. These are closely related with biology, botany, zoology, physiology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, statistics, anthropology, psychology. And abiotic factors like soil, air, water, energy, and light are related with the geography, geology, meteorology, okay, and geophysics. And all these subjects belong to a major field of earth science. All these subjects are belongs to major field, that is earth science. And in the basic, what we say, in the heart is the environmental studies, which includes study of biotic as well as abiotic component of the environment. They provide vital information about the non-living components of environment called as a lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere. Whereas the biosphere is the component of the environment formed by Earth atmosphere in which many smaller ecosystems exist and operated. So life is sustained in the biosphere, right? So for the sustaining life, what is required? That is, soil is also required, water is required, atmosphere required, that forms the biosphere. So in the environmental studies, we study natural sciences, right? And environmental studies is not only related to the natural sciences but also related to social sciences like economics, like sociology, civil, history, politics. These are also related with the environmental sciences. So, environmental studies interact directly or indirectly with the human's social, mental, economic, political, cultural aspects, and hence a study of social sciences is again become essential, right? So, here in this case, biology, botany, and zoology, in this what the study of living organism, plant and animal with their interacting environment is involved. Physiology, physiological environment of the organism, how it is interact. Chemistry, chemical bonding, chemical nature of the substances is studied. Then in the physics, different forms of the energy they are studied. Mathematics, statistics, as is are directly related with the population dynamics, even how the population is growing on the planet Earth and how it is going to exert its impact on the planet Earth is being studied. It's the statistical data is going to provide by these two, mathematics and statistics, right? Anthropological activity means the man-made activities, how these man-made activities are going to influence the environment. So all these branches are connected with, or all these branches show their influence on the environmental sciences. So environmental studies is hence included, or environment is there in the syllabus for arts, commerce, science. For every student has to study the environment because it is a very wide branch of science. Okay, now let's move ahead. Okay, now ecological levels of organization. Let's see the ecological levels of organization. Basically, we'll already studied the ecology, dynamic relationship of organism with their physical environment and with their environment, right, is said to be the ecology. Now there are three basic levels of organization in ecology: population, community, and ecosystem. Okay, levels of organization, three basic levels of organization are there: population, community, and ecosystem. Okay, now what is the difference between the population? What do you mean by population? What do you mean by community, and what do you mean by ecosystem? So population, say a population is nothing but a specific kind of individual, particular kind of individual, say rat or say deer or say crows, right? Community, different types of organism interacting together in a specific area is said to be community. And ecosystem, living and non-living component, different types of living and non-living component interact together. Okay, is said to be the ecosystem. Let's move ahead and see a diagram. So this picture will tell you more. Okay, as said, picture speaks more than the words, right? So here is the picture of a single organism, right? Here there is a population, means a group of a particular kind of organism. Here there is a community, means group of different kind of organism together is said to be the community. And ecosystem, living, non-living, different kinds of organism when interact together said to be the ecosystem. Now let's see in detail what about this ecosystem tell us. Okay, all right. Now single organism, and when the number of that single organism increases, then it is said to be the population. So a population is any group of individual, any, it can be a deer, it can be a zebra, it can be a human, it can be a rat, it can be ant, any kind of organism, right? So a population is any group of individual of the same species in a given area or a region at a specific time. It can be characteristic functions. It has a characteristic functions for whole group. Say this organism, deer. Okay. So if you say the deer is having 2 ears, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 legs, and beautiful coat color, so it is a characteristic not limited to this single organism, but a characteristics of entire population. This is the characteristics of entire population. So it has a characteristic functions for a whole group and not for the individual members. The characteristics are population density, birth rate, death rate, age distribution, age and distribution, even biotic potential, as well as rate of dispersion and growth. So populations are not the static, but they are dynamic entities which are always in a state of flux. Okay, so this population, if I say the lifespan of this deer is so and so month, it gives birth to 3 or 4 young ones, and even it dies in few years of the life, right? So this is not specific with that single organism, but these are the characteristic of this entire population, right? And the populations are not static, it is not constant, but it is always in a dynamic entities. It is going to change with the environment, with the factors influenced by them or interacting with it. Say population of a deer, or say very well example we can cite the population of a human, especially say in the India. The Indian population was say 30 crores in few years back, like 30 years back it was a 30 crores, right? Now what is the population of a human in India? It is 130 crores. So 100 crores they have been increased within this 30 years of the time period, right? So population is never static, it is always in the changing form, it is always in the dynamic entities, and it is always going to change, going to show the state of flux, moving. Okay, now uh, ecologists refer the polyspecific population as a community. Okay, polyspecific population as a community, and the term population only for monospecific population means a population of a or the individual of a same kind are treated in a population, particular population, whereas if the polyspecific population is there, then it is treated as a community, right? So the community or the biocoinosis includes all types of organism in a given area. Say this particular area that has all types of organism. There is close relationship between the community and the non-living environment, and also between the members of the communities in a given area. So the particular area that is called as a place or a habitat occupied by the community may be termed the biotopes. Okay, so this biotope, this is said to be a biotope, right? So different types of organisms or different types of species living together in a specific area is said to be the biotope, or this is said to be the community. Now there are number of attributes, or you can say factors of a community. Say the community structure, ecological dominance and indicators of the community, then ecological stratification, and many other ecological niches and all that, many other factors or attributes of the community are there. Okay, so the biotope is specific for a specific locality, specific habitat, and the habitat wise the biotope or community structure is going to change. Getting my point? Say a particular community, say a biotope, that is a Nashik region. As we are residing in the Nashik, we'll take an example of Nashik. So in the Nashik district, a specific kind of, say, 200, this is just an example, 200 uh, birds, different types of birds. Okay. Um, Say 2000 different types of organisms or populations are exist. That includes all types of bird, all types of mammals, all types of rodents, even everything that is aquatic, terrestrial, everything, all types of organisms included in this. So Nashik district has a population or a community structure of 2000 organisms. But if you go for the Dhule district or Mumbai district, likewise, okay, so their population or their community structure will be different. So their biotope is different. Okay, so according to habitat, the community or the population dynamic is shows changes, right? But it is specific for a particular habitat, right? Okay. And now this ecosystem, a community all together with the environmental factors is form a ecosystem. Means in that ecosystem, different types of organisms, different types of plants, abiotic factors, soil, water, gases, everything will be included. All together comprises a ecosystem, right? All together comprises the ecosystem. Now let's see the community structure. Okay, community structure. So the community is mainly composed of three types of organisms, and these are the producers, consumers, and decomposers. Okay, producers, consumers, and decomposers. See here in the picture, what is that? Producers are there. Producers, plant material. Then primary consumers are the animal which feeding on this plant material. Then secondary consumers which feeding on the primary consumers, and then top consumer is said to be the tertiary consumer which feed on the secondary consumer, right? And later on this second tertiary consumer or top consumer, when becomes dead, its body is decomposed and again the nutrients are set free into the soil by the decomposers, that is microbes and fungi. Let's see them one by one. So these producers, okay, producers, these are the autotrophs, mainly green plant algae and green flagellates, and these are capable of synthesizing complex organic molecules in the presence of radiant energy of the sun through the photosynthesis. By the process of photosynthesis, they used to synthesize a complex organic material. The radiant ecology of the sun, radiant energy of the sun is converted into chemical energy, okay, and stored in the form of a complex organic molecule, say carbohydrate, during the process of photosynthesis. And this primary consumer, what they does, they are the heterotrophs, okay, and mainly animals that feeds upon other organisms. These are incapable of synthesizing their food material. Tell me, do we synthesize our food material? Do these birds and these tertiary consumers, or you can say, they are able to synthesize their own food material like plants? No, they cannot, because the process of photosynthesis is not present in this because of lack of the chlorophyll pigment, which is present in only the plants. So plants they treated as a producers. So and these are also called as a phagotrophs. Okay, so those consumers which feed directly on the plants or on the product of a plant are called as a herbivores, and these are primary consumers. Okay, just like deers. So these consumers which feed on the animal, other animals, are called as a carnivores. Okay, the consumers which feed on the other animals are said to be the carnivores. Okay, these are called as the secondary consumers which feed on the primary consumers. And similarly, the tertiary consumer is there which feed on the secondary consumers like lion, tiger, and even the hawk, okay, or eagle also. They are treated as a tertiary consumer. Then comes the role of a decomposer. So whatever nutrients which are taken from the soil, they has to return back to the soil through the food chain, process of a food chain. So there comes the role of a decomposer. When the top consumer they died, so the heterotrophs, when the top consumer they died, their bodies they start decomposing, and the decomposition process is carried out by the heterotrophs, mainly bacteria and fungi. They are treated as heterotrophs or decomposers. They carry out decomposition of the dead bodies of the top consumers. So the decomposers are especially bacteria and fungi, which decompose and break down the complex organic substances into simple abiotic substances and return them to soil again. So these decomposers, they are also called as the saprotrophs. Okay, means feeding on the dead decomposing bodies. So they called as a saprotrophs also.